Good. You know how everything's like getting a gritty remake and a reboot and Power Rangers?
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Power Rangers came out and Beauty and the Beast.
I made what I thought was a very intelligent point.
Mm-hmm.
That anything that was super extreme and rad and cool in the 90s had to go through a gritty reboot in the 2000s, otherwise no one would take it seriously anymore.
This is a prime example of today's video. It's hard to find stuff that hasn't been rebooted that's
so it's
nostalgic.
Ninja Turtles.
No, that's been rebooted a bunch of times.
Yeah. Oh, so this is something that hasn't yet
hasn't been rebooted yet.
Okay. All right, Clifford the Big Red Dog.
You keep guessing.
I want a gritty reboot of Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Smokey the Bear.
As cool as that would be.
Smacky the Frog.
Arthur.
Arthur the
television
Aardvark.
show Arthur.
I wish there was an Arthur video game.
Was he an aardvark?
Yeah, he was an aardvark.
Ah,
yeah.
I thought he was an anteater.
I
always wondered why he never
Same
had
thing.
VARK.
No.
They got pretty much the same thing.
Anteaters have the really long snouts, and he had
And
like
so do aardvarks.
Well, he didn't have a snout at all.
Aardvarks aren't anteaters. Don't be racist.
But
I don't think that's racist.
they're
Are we
the
just
same.
gonna stare at this, or is this
Nope.
just...
Because there it is.
You got me.
Yeah.
You did. You said this was a surprise that I would actually like, and this is true. So, funny story. Funny story about this game. I played the fuck out of this game.
Oh yeah?
That
when
is
it came
funny.
out.
This game is fantastic. I love this game, and I'm so glad to have found it.
It does have atrocious loading times, so. Oh man, how far did you get?
Oh, I only played for about 15 minutes and until I died. You know, enough for the video.
Yeah. Man. Yeah.
I never got into the Animorphs.
Oh, the Animorphs are the best stories. Look at that. Aliens going into your brain and taking over your mind. They flatten themselves out and go through your ear canal and then wrap themselves over your entire brain cavity. And I know that you're terrified of aliens, and especially as a child, so this probably wouldn't have been anything you wanted.
The only thing I remember about the Animorphs is the book covers when you churned them.
Right.
You get the whole morphin effect.
Oh yeah, everything had a holograph on it in
Yeah.
the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, abso-fucking-lutely.
Well, yeah, you see, these blue guys right here are the Andalites. And the Andalites were the enemies of the Yeerks for a long time. And they came to, one of them, Prince Elfangor, came to Earth and crashed. And these teenagers found him, and he gave them the power to transform into any different type of animal they encountered.
So he's Zordon.
This is crazy loud.
I know.
This is crazy loud audio.
Yeah. Turn down again. Where is it?
I don't know. I'm just going to press this. There.
There we go.
Oh.
That's nice.
That's better.
Yeah. All right. Look at that thing.
So what's the blue guy?
Blue. That's the Andalite that I was talking about. He is kind of
Zordon.
no. His name is Axe.
Okay.
The first Andalite.
Does he live in a tube?
No, he lives in a field with Tobias, who is a red-tailed falcon.
Is that Zordon?
No, there's no Zordon.
There's no Zordon. This isn't the Power Rangers.
So who do you play as?
Jake, Rachel, Cassie, or Marco? I chose Rachel.
I'm asking you.
I chose Rachel because
because she was the cutest on the TV show.
Plus I wanted to be a bear.
Oh yeah.
So she was Kimberly.
Stop it.
Alright.
Not her. I always thought it was real disappointing that you couldn't be Tobias or Axe in this game. They're the two most interesting characters, and it's just not fair. Tobias, he was a regular human, and then he got stuck as a red-tailed hog. Because if you can't stay in your animal morph for more than 2 hours, or you'll get stuck there.
Okay.
And there's no way to bring you back. They did, in fact, get Tobias to turn back into his human form, but in kind of a weird, circuitous manner, to where now his normal form is a red-tailed hawk, but he can morph into a human for 2 hours at a time. It had to do with this pan-dimensional being called the Elemist and time travel that we don't really need to get into.
So he has time to morph into being a dude for the ladies, and then he's back to being a bird.
Well, pretty much, yeah. He doesn't have a lot of a home life. I mean, he eats rats, and his parents are dead. So,
As the bird?
Well, it's both.
Alright.
I don't think the bird's parents were ever alive.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure they were at some point.
Well, you said eats rats. Is like is the dude eating rats, or is the bird eating rats?
Both of them.
Okay.
Kids both.
Tasty.
Mm-hmm. So what do you know about Animorphs, Eric?
Put them on a pizza.
Next to nothing. I didn't read the books.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the show. I know that you and
You
Jared.
don't come very prepared to these videos.
You and I knew you would talk at great length about Animorphs. So.
we haven't even got into the Hork-Bajir Chronicles yet.
You see, because I know Jared was into it too, which is why I wish he was here. This is a prize for everybody.
Yeah, this is platforming at its worst, I think. Right there, where they tried to mix 3D and 2D, and
oh yeah, the whole 2.5.
It's almost a 2.5D. I
Yeah.
mean, you can go in and out a tad.
Oh,
Nice.
Yep.
But it never really worked. A lot of similarities to the Mortal Kombat Mythologies game here, with like really shitty platforming that you can't see in any direction.
That seems like a difficult transition.
Well, I didn't know the platform was gonna Mario me.
Right.
Like I said, I had never played this until the other day.
Yeah, it looks like you're supposed to jump on that. And not pick up the health stuff.
Yeah, it's a classic misdirect.
So why aren't you using your bear powers?
Because you can only go bear at certain points
Oh,
of
that's
the
right.
level.
It was only during
Yeah.
the action scenes.
Only during the
there's
fights.
The enemies. And did it switch to full 3D then?
No. Well,
Okay. I feel like
it's
it was
kind of
like static camera angle-y.
it's 2.5D. Like you can move in. Yeah, here it is right here.
Go.
You can
Yeah.
watch it. Yeah.
Yep.
You can move in those directions,
that.
and that's it.
Look at it go.
And-
You're a giant mole.
And that's the best part of the game right there, is just being a bear and wrecking shit for 3 seconds.
Well, if you stay too long, you'd be a bear forever.
It's true.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a bear with all this jumping around and acid lakes and stuff. It's not good. It's not a good environment for a bear. There's no salmon.
So if you could, one of the things that was always really interesting about the Animorph books was that when they turned into the animals, they had to fight the urges of the animals' instincts. Tobias, one of his things was that he could lose himself in the red-tailed hawk's brain and just, not even be a person mentally anymore. He was just the bird. And some animals, like a dog's brain, Jake, the quote-unquote leader, who was played by Iceman in the TV show.
Oh,
the
yeah!
The guy that went on to be Iceman in the Marvel X-Men movies.
Okay.
The old one, not whatever the new one is.
Yeah, yeah.
He was in one of the newer ones too.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in the Days of the Future
Days of
Past.
Future Past.
Oh, I watched
Yeah.
Logan.
Oh, did you?
Speaking of,
How's
yeah.
Logan? I want to see
Oh man,
it.
it is badass. It's
I
sad. It's a real sad movie, but
It was already spoiled for me, but then again, it's just like if
yeah,
the comic was already there.
I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
But it is very good and probably one of my favorite Patrick Stewart. I mean, obviously Patrick Stewart just in general is terrific.
He's fantastic. Yeah.
He was more. If anybody's seen Blunt Talk,
I've heard about it.
Okay, he is more like his character in Blunt Talk in this movie than he is Professor X, and it's really fun. Because at this point in this timeline, Professor X is really old and kind of sickly and senile a little bit, and he keeps having these weird seizures, and when he does, his brain is so powerful that it sends like shockwaves out throughout, in mile radius.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
And there is one like super badass scene where he's having a seizure and Logan has to like fight his way up through a hotel to get to him, to stop him, because everyone around is freaking out. And it's really cool. It's a great movie. They did a good job on it.
Thought I might go this weekend actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to go sometime this week.
Well, it'd be better than going to see Beauty and the Beast again, probably.
Yeah. Oh man, big controversy surrounding an openly gay character in a Disney movie that has clearly had, gay characters. Disney's featured gay characters for years. This is nothing new.
Who was the first Disney gay character?
The first, Flower.
Flower.
From Bambi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was the Flower gay?
No, the skunk.
Oh, the skunk. I thought you said Flower.
His name is Flower.
It was funny because his name was Flower, but he was a skunk.
Oh, I get it. Juxtaposition.
Right.
Yeah. Good on you, Disney. Push down that racism with funny puns.
Everybody remember Song of the South? I love Song of the South.
I
I hate these gears.
like sweet potato pie, okay?
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, those gears don't really seem to be turning anything either. What's their purpose?
They're
Normally gears push into each other, and that's what rotates them.
these
you know?
these gears are here to grind my gears.
Ah.
These gears are a pain in my keister.
Would you say that you want to declare war on them?
I would declare war. See, the thing about the
Gears
gear,
of War.
the gear
You
wars.
said it. Now it's not funny anymore.
The gear wars were never really about the gears at all.
That's a Rick and Morty.
Yes.
I get it.
I don't get that one.
Nah.
You need to watch Rick and Morty
I've been trying.
before they inevitably never release season 3 and disappoint everybody.
You know they're gonna do it. He said it was gonna be a while. It's Dan Harmon.
Yeah.
I think it's more Justin Roiland holding it up. He seems more of a diva.
I don't know about that. I think they've got other stuff to worry about. They've been making VR games, and I will say that Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Did you see Justin Roiland's VR game?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It looks funny.
It's pretty funny.
But they just posted a thing recently on Instagram, a bunch of videos about Earth now being open to the galactic community.
I saw that.
And stuff like that. So it's coming.
That promo came out like what, 2 months ago?
No, these are new ones.
Oh,
They just
they're
started
more.
doing new ones. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's like little 15-second videos and stuff.
Oh, you're doing so good.
It took me a while to get past the gears, but I did get past the gears.
You know, I'm surprised you haven't cut any of this out.
I did that for you.
Ah, thank you. I do appreciate it.
I wanted you to share this gear experience with me.
Yeah, well, it's good to show the game in all of its aspects. You know, if a part is really assy, then you need to leave it in because people need to know whether it's worth it to buy the game or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see why anybody wouldn't buy this
Oh, of course not.
after what we've seen so far.
I don't see why anybody wouldn't buy any game they wanted to buy because, you know,
In fact,
piracy.
everybody should retroactively go out and buy a bunch of K.
Hurts
Applegate
everyone.
books. She's a great author who wrote this series, and then we don't have to worry about anything else that she wrote because it's not that great or necessary.
Mhm. And also, you know, support your local bookstore. I'm sure they're in some need of some business.
Yeah, you know, I actually went to the Book Nook in Rincon on Wednesday last week. I bought 7 old Isaac Asimov books for $21.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
not bad.
and $3 a piece. It's a good deal.
And the gears are over.
All right.
We got past the damn gears.
Now, I don't remember this part in any of the books
Spare time.
where you had to fight weird monsters.
They look like silverfish, or
Where are we supposed to
earwigs.
be?
You're in a factory.
As far as I
Carlos.
can tell, we're in like a volcano layer.
Maybe we're coming up from the Yerk pool. Maybe that's what it is. In the books, early on in the series and later on, other ones were introduced. But the Yerks, so they're like I said earlier, they're these aliens that flatten themselves out and go into your brain through your ear canal, and they absorb over your head and take over you, and they're now their host.
Like in the Star Trek.
Exactly. I guess I don't know. I don't watch Star Trek.
They did that in the Wrath of Khan.
Sure.
Brainworms.
Every 3 days, however, the Yerk has to eat. And it eats by getting these strong ultraviolet rays beamed into it while it swims around in a pool. Kind of like a sludge pool.
Huh.
So every 3 days, these aliens walk their human hosts through secret tunnels and underground passageways and wherever to their nearest Yerk pool, which is what it's called. And then everybody gets into a line and lines up and kneels down and turns their head, and an alien pops out of their ear and falls in. And then 2 guards grab the human host and drag them off and put them into a cell while their alien swims around. And then later, they're returned. A lot of humans end up siding with the Yerks, and they become sympathetic to them and start to help them out. And
This is pretty brutal for a kid's
it's
series.
fucked up, man. No,
Yeah.
this is why the Animorphs series is so underappreciated, is because you don't know unless you actually read the books, and the books are fucking dark. Like, Tobias gets turned into a red-tailed hawk for the rest of his life in, like, the second book. There's 52 of them.
What?
Yeah. It ends with, the last 10 or so books are all-out war between humanity and the aliens. And it ends with the humans winning, still goes on for like 4 more books, and then eventually everybody kills themselves in a big suicide run on an alien ship.
Holy shit.
It is a badass story.
And this is what happened when you lose all your lives. They actually
No, that's the Yerk pool.
show the Yerk pool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's Visser 3 right there. He's the main bad guy.
See, he sided with the Yerk, and
No, he was a so Visser 3 is the host body of the alien who came to Earth, the Andalite, the blue horse. Christ.
What?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you like that. Huh? You were just talking about that guy.
Yeah. So the Andalite that came to Earth, Elfangor, he had a guy that trained him, and there was this whole other war on another planet that the Yerks took over called the Tax. I can go. The video's over, so I'm not going to get all the way into it.
We can go as long as you'd like.
During a previous conflict, Elfangor pretty much caused his trainer, boss, master to be captured and taken over, and the Yerk that was put into his head later moved up in the ranks and became Visser 3, who was in charge of the humanity overthrow, enslavement problem. And he also... I could go on.
Yeah.
And yeah. I won't. It's good books.
It's cool that you were you were able to, because you're right. I was a little lost on this one.
Oh man, such a weird series. One of the best things about this, they did so many weird little things. You know, there was the 52 regular Animorph books, and then they go in and they did these things called Megamorphs, which were like every Animorph book. I keep looking at my bookshelf like there's one over there. I'm sure there is. Every Megamorph book, or every Animorph book, just was focused on one character. Like you had a book from the perspective of Jake, a book from the perspective of Cassie, or from Axe
throughout
or
the same
Tobias.
events?
No. Always moving forward. And so you just get one person's perspective of this thing that happened, and then we move on.
Okay.
But the Megamorph books were more like every time you switch chapters, it switched to a different person, and they were long. You know, they were probably 2 or 3 times as long, and it was like it was like the big season finale at the end of a season.
Okay.
And then they had what they called the Chronicles, which took some of the lore of what had happened with like the Yerks or these other aliens called the Hork-Bajir, which are like big bladed monsters, or the Taxons, or the Andalites, and they made the Andalite Chronicles and the Elements Chronicles, and those were more self-contained stories that didn't have anything to do with what was going on Earth, but they took place on other planets and with other like types of creatures and individuals and stuff. And the Elements Chronicles in particular was the best because it they lived on this giant floating crystal, and they were these winged, almost angel-like creatures, and there was about 100,000 of them, and at any given point, 2/3 of them all had to be what they call docked to the crystal and slowly flapping their wings, and that's what kept it aloft as it floated over their world. And while they were docked to the crystal, they were all connected by this like Ethernet-style communication link to where they could telepathically talk to anyone else on the crystal.
Hive mind.
Yeah, almost. You still kept your own thoughts and everything, but you could talk to other people, and you could choose what to express and what not to express.
Huh.
And they came up with this idea that they would play games during it, and these games involved basically playing Spore or Populous, where they would create these 2 worlds, and they would be in kind of the same basic conditions. And the rules of the game were you could change one thing on the world. And so each person would change one thing, and then they would accelerate time thousands and thousands of years and see what happened. And this is all like way, way, way in the past. After a long, long time, they shot off, just like we humans did, they shot off a lot of messages into space trying to find other civilizations and stuff like that. And one of the things they shot off into space was video of their games. This other race saw it, didn't understand that it was a game, thought that these people were actually going around and doing that, and came and blew up their whole city and world pretty much, and this one guy escaped.
Oh, wow. That's hardcore.
And he ends up crashing onto a moon planet that has a similar creature on it to, what was it, Futurama second movie, Beast with a Billion Backs.
Evo.
Evo, yes. Crashes onto an Evo planet and gets tentacled and ends up playing games with the Evo creature, who has also tentacled millions of other people that crash onto her planet. And slowly, over another thousands of years, because the Evo thing is like feeding him and keeping him alive and stuff, because he's the only other mind she has that's alive that she can play these games with, he starts to take over her bit by bit, and he merges kind of with it and then becomes it, and then builds a space station out of himself / her and shoots off. And he basically, the Ellimist, turns himself over this thousands and thousands of year history into a god. And everything that's happened in the Animorphs, past and future, happens because of a war that he's fighting with another giant dimensional being named Krayak, who is like the evil. Like, Krayak's the devil, Ellimist is God, if you want to do the analogies. And there's some other really good books that go into that, but we don't have to.
Did the same person write all these
Yes.
books?
I had no idea the Animorphs lore was so deep.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can go deeper.
You have
I
enlightened.
can go back to the time of the dinosaurs.
You've enlightened me.
That's
and,
not a joke.
And everyone watching.
All three of them.
Everyone go out and buy some Animorphs books.
Go buy some Animorph books, and then go buy my book, Rehab Patient Parking Only.
And then
in
subscribe.
stores since 2010.
Subscribe to all our channels. Stay tuned for more weird stuff.
Have fun, guys.
Goodbye.